Hey, soul warriors. Spiritual awakening is so much more than just talking the talk. Are you embodying the key habits that separate the spiritually intelligent from the spiritual idealizers? In this video, we're going to reveal 3 pivotal practices that distinguish the genuine spiritual embodiment from playing dress up. This is the real work that catalyzes your profound transformation.
Dress up.
Dress up.
Okay.
You know, the spiritual people that dress up all pretty and, say that they're aligning their chakras and all the things.
Saying all the things.
But then they're
buzzwords.
A hot mess over here and they can't, manifest shit and, yeah. So
we've come across a few of those.
And I think we all are that when we first get into this, because it's the spiritually shiny things and it's fun. And then we're like, wait a minute, why is everybody a hot mess?
Listen, I don't categorize myself as one of them.
Oh, I don't either. But at the very beginning when it was new.
Yeah, even when it was new, for me, it was so, because like I've said before, my entire life has been communicating with the unseen.
Exactly.
And being directed and being all those things. So it's just like these things feel like a fad to me, if you will. People kind of rolling into that. This is the new buzzword this week. This is the new whatever this week. And I've just been playing witness to it all, hoping and not hoping, knowing that at some point they will land right back to where they need to be, so that they can really get that spiritual intelligence in play. So,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, I guess when I first found the spiritual community, I fell into Harry Potter world and I'm like, ooh, a magical being finally with other magical beings. And then I just realized that no, they were not. So, all right. 3 habits that we've seen, because we've been in this spiritual arena for a long time. And if you're wondering what spiritual intelligence is, first of all, everybody's very in tuned with IQ, with your mental side, your left side of your brain that's very logical. And a lot of us use that as a crutch and rely on that.
Right.
Or you have the other side. You have left is your IQ. Okay. You have the right side, which is your emotional intelligence. We did a video on that, talking about the feelings. And a lot of people who just run on emotions like they run on Dunkin's. Yeah. So spiritual intelligence, if we take those 2 parts, the top of the triangle is up here. That's your spiritual intelligence. That's wholeness that we talk about all the time. That's utilizing that emotional intelligence, utilizing that logic, and combining it all with your spiritual wisdom to complete a complete whole picture of you.
Yeah.
So 3 habits. I actually have a 4th bonus one I will add at the end, so keep watching.
Yes.
First one is no bullshit. Spiritually enlightened people don't bullshit around. We might fuck around and find out, but we don't bullshit around. We're very straightforward. We're explaining and expressing to the best of our ability who we are and what's going on with us and how it works for us. We're maintaining authenticity and those boundaries and borders with people in an ever increasing pattern as we're evolving.
I know that for me in my life, that's always been I don't even know what word to use, but it puts people off.
Yeah.
Because I get no one's that honest. What's your angle? There's no way that you do that every single day of your life. They question me when in reality they're questioning themselves.
Right.
That's one of the things that I've never taken that personally. So when they see that I'm not taking it personally because they're questioning me, it triggers their stuff.
Then they get mad.
And then they get mad and I'm unreasonable or I'm whatever. Insert whatever insecurity that they're feeling about themselves comes into play. And I just kind of play witness to that and ask a whole lot of questions.
Yeah. So you'll notice that the superpower behind this is that it weeds people out. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to waste a lot of time with the people that aren't aligned with you. They clear themselves out for you. But
what if you like them?
You can keep in touch.
Because we all have been
we
there.
do. Or family members. Or,
Yeah. Where we've seen that, and it's like, oh, but they're family. I really like their friendship and all that stuff, and they put up with so much, that at the end of it all, it becomes more of a crutch or a disappointment or some sort of thing like that. When a simple of like, we're not aligned, that's okay, and let's move on.
Right. Yeah. So just being more upfront, being more you, noticing what masks you still have on, because that's where your work lies. As you're spiritually evolving, this is you just taking off the masks. Like, nope, that's not me, doesn't align with me. And you're becoming more and more in touch with your origin energy. And then you'll start to see more of the masks that other people have on. And this is not a judging thing. This is just like, oh, look at them playing the victim mask. Oh, look at them like deep into, but I'm a parent, so I have to do the 8 million things, and I can't be an authentic spiritual human. And this is something that you embody, and this becomes your primary focus instead of all the other roles. The other roles become simplified the more that you live like a no BS type of life.
Right. And I believe when they're misaligned with who they are, or they don't understand some level of themselves or their power, that's when they waver in such a way that puts them in the defensive.
Yeah.
So I've come across people that get really defensive, because I'm going up to somebody, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, and I'm seeing their brilliance, I'm seeing their being, their soul, their everything, and I'm talking to that, and it literally at times feels like I'm just smacking them in the face with my words, because I'm addressing that very high energy of them, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
You can notice where you're getting defensive with people, or you're feeling kind of smacked in the face with somebody's energy. So you can see maybe where you can adjust that dial of your own spiritual intelligence. And that leads us to number 2, is that people who are spiritually intelligent have a habit of knowing that their work is themselves. This is where complete self-acceptance and self-love is the goal. So if you're not finding the love of your life, you're not finding your BFF, you're not finding the job you've always dreamed of, okay, how do you love yourself, become your own BFF, embody all those things, and fill yourself up with all those things that you want? Because then those things outside of you will start to be attracted, and they start to come in. So we commonly see a lot of people like, I'm manifesting the job and the love of my life, and they're manifesting out when we know it's an inside job.
Right. And the thing with that is that they're manifesting, like you said, whatever is actually happening within them. They might be saying, that's what I'm doing, and that's what I want, but if inside is saying something completely different, or you're feeling completely different, that's what's going to actually manifest, because that has the dominant energy.
Right.
So, but then we sit confused.
I've been focusing on this for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm in meditation. I've written it down. I have my board, my vision board, and all these things, and that's great. Those are great tools to use, no doubt. But if inside of you, you're like, yeah, no, I don't deserve that. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Or that can't happen to me. That's what you're actually going to find versus the vision board, the meditations, and all those things. And that's where alignment comes into play.
Yes. Because by saying that, they're manifesting that money, that love. They're saying, I don't have that. I don't have that. I'm in lack. So you really want to be here with your alignment, and your alignment is way over here and way over there. So how do we bring it back in? It's like, okay, I am abundant. How do I feel abundant inside? How do I grab that feeling? I can look for evidence of being abundant around me instead of looking for the evidence of the lack of it. It's just looking at your internal landscape more than you decide to more than you decide that the truth is what's going on outside of you.
Yeah.
The truth is what's going on in here, and that creates what's outside.
Exactly. I mean, we have so many different things that we put way too much stock in. I think earlier this week I did something about failure. I put it on Instagram, that we look at failure as like, oh my God, it's just this big thing. But failure is a gauge. It's a gauge that lets you know where you actually are. And it gets you that much closer to where you want to be. When we shift how we think about failure, when failure comes along, if that's what you want to call it, I call them experiences versus failure. You know, when it comes along, you're like excited. It's like, okay, what am I going to learn here? What am I going to shift here? You know, what do I still got to work on? If you look at these things, these spiritual knowings, these spiritual shifts with excitement and love for yourself and for the process, oh my God, it's so much easier. Because and then because you're in such high vibration, that's what you're sending out into the world. And what is the universe going to do? It's going to give you a whole lot of that awesome vibration.
Exactly. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
So that actually leads into number 3. Spiritually intelligent people, they love the full ride of the human experience. It's like, say you love roller coasters, like you're on it for the ups and the downs and the, oh my God, everything's going to hell, I'm gonna die, and like, oh, this is great, or like, oh my God, I'm finally elevating and I'm scared because I haven't been here yet to this height and I don't know, and then oh shit, and then you're like, I want to go again. That's the energy you want to bring to this.
Yep.
And like you said, you know, people have success and failure and black and white, and I'm sad or I'm happy, like all these extremes. And this is like an and, not an or thing. So it's not like either I'm a success or I'm a failure. Either I'm like a good person or a bad person. It's like you're all of those things. Right. That's what this human ride is. I'm super fucking spiritual, and I am enjoying the hell out of this physical experience I'm having, because it's one in a cajillion that I get the privilege to be here and experience this.
And embracing that is so much easier. You know, that excitement, that, yeah. I mean, the for me personally, when this whole phrase came into play, I thought it was a perfect explanation or feeling on how it is for me in my life. It's happening.
From
like
the office.
Every time something, what I might perceive as lower vibration, okay? And the minute I see that, feel that, or, you know, have some sort of energy about it, I start with it's happening. And I get really happy, really curious, despite the situation. And I know that it's hard to do, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Really, like, instead of just like, oh shit, this is happening again, and why is this happening again, you automatically go, whatever, pick whatever works for you. Then you go, it's happening, and you get curious. You've unlocked something that's gonna completely be so incredibly powerful and shifting in your life. And like you said, that's the wholeness of it. When you dance in that, man, when you're like living it up and like vibing in it, it's like, yeah.
And when things start to fall apart, like, that's why you embrace that excitement, because that means space is being created for something new and bigger and better and more you. So every time you step into that next version of you, the next version of the world around you is going to start to create.
How exciting.
Right? That's what you've been asking for.
Super exciting.
Most people are like slamming the flipping brakes on as soon as they see the paradise that they've been trying to create. Because they're like, oh, I have to go through this like desert area to get to where I want. And I don't like the desert, even though it leads to the beautiful beach that I've been calling in. Mm-hmm. I don't like the desert. So I'm going to turn around and go home. Exactly. And then I'm going to be mad that my shit's not here.
Right. I mean, when several years back, I mean, I had this thing, you know, you're talking about desert. My thing was the woods, being in the dark in the woods, just like it was big and scary and all these things. And when I leaned into the fear of it, when I leaned into the process and got curious, and it's like, shit, I can do this. I was freed by the whole thing, completely freed. Now I can be out in the woods or anywhere dark spaces and be okay and know that I'm okay, because I remembered that I'm never alone. I might feel like I'm alone, but I'm never alone because my spiritual team is rocking right behind me.
Exactly. And you've thrived. Like, you've had an amazing experience walking through the woods at this point, instead of being afraid of even going there, so you never get the experience because you've denied yourself. We stand in our own way so much of the time, and the more you can get out of your way and recognize, hey, self, we're in the way, let's just move over here, and then we can proceed. And it might be scary, but I mean, that's what brave looks like. We talk a lot about this, about it feeling like an activation and initiation process in the June energy update. So we'll actually tag that so you can find out what energies are going on right now.
Right, for sure. I mean, if anything, we would like to impress upon you that spiritual intelligence is about living very boldly and deliberately and honestly and loving every frickin' moment of it.
Yeah. All right. So the fourth bonus one, and then we'll let you go back to your day, because we so appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Please put in the comments like what you got out of this and what you're leaning more into, or what you've already mastered. Which one of these you're like, yeah, I got that one on lock.
Right.
So,
and if you need a little bit of help, you know how to reach us.
Well, that kind of goes right along with the fourth bonus thing.
Right.
So there's a coach online that I love to follow because I learned so much from him. His name is Garain, and he said, highly spiritually intelligent people know that receiving feedback is the cheat code for progress. And we've experienced this recently. Our coach, Avery Ford, is an amazing human who just knows us and is locked in spiritually. And he'll shush us right down and gets real centered and real quiet. And then he comes out with like 3 words that just like shift everything. Yeah. Your perspective, your energy, your frequency, and you're freed. It's like the most amazing thing. So do you need life coaching? No, nobody needs life coaching. Do you want to evolve and progress faster and with a hell of a lot more fun and more connection? Absolutely. And that is what coaching gives you. That's the magic behind coaching. And I mean, we're like spirit guides incarnate, where we're going to give you fierce love, and we're going to be super bold, and we're going to be super honest, and we're not going to give you the goddamn riddles that you often get from the spirit guides, which is only because you're partially in your own way. So that's all they can get through to you. Right. So it really, again, comes back to one of those steps where it's all about you.
Straight.
Yeah. So if you need help, reach out. We have free soul sessions. There's a link in the bio you can click. Absolutely free. There's no pitch. It's just us serving you heart to heart, soul to soul, and moving your needle forward.
Absolutely. So be kind.
Peace.